So I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's actually a good movie. It was fun to watch. A lot better than I expected. It did have some bad things in it, but I want to say first the good things. Hugh Jackman was awesome as Wolverine. It had good action, good jokes. It was fun. It had good music. Well done. But it had some fascist ideas in it. Those are by far the worst part of the movie. Some fascist ideas are the worst part of anything. And I know I say that knowing full well that Ryan Reynolds was playing Deadpool. But by far the worst part was the fascism, and he does refer to himself as Marvel Jesus quite a few times in the movie. I'm not saying that's fascist, but by saying that, he might trigger the same Trump-Putin fascists, the Nazis who were upset about the blue Jesus at the Olympics. But it doesn't make up for it to have any type of fascist ideas, even if you do trigger some Trump-Putin by talking about being Marvel Jesus. The fascist ideas he expressed included calling somebody a round earther, so suggesting he's a flat earther, saying he's not going to express his opinions on certain topics, including climate change and vaccines and things like this, which again put him in the camp of like incel libertarians who won't admit their political beliefs on dating profiles because they know they should be rightfully ashamed and shunned for having those beliefs. Um, or Trump-Putin Nazis in general, who don't want to admit, they'll say, "Oh, I don't have political beliefs," because they're somehow, at least uh, subconsciously or superconsciously ashamed of what those beliefs are. If you're a leftist, you wouldn't have to be ashamed of your beliefs. You could say, "I'm a leftist," and express what your political beliefs are. But anyway, so he does that, and then the whole multiverse idea is kind of fascist, or lends itself to fascist misinterpretations, like we can destroy this world and just transfer to another one, and there's another world where I'm just wearing a different colored shirt, and all this stuff that fascists overuse. I was disappointed to see it in Star Trek Discovery as well, where they, for one, they praise Elon Musk as someone that the future would somehow see as a hero instead of the Nazi Trump Putin traitor he is, spy or whatever you want to call him, uh, Putin pawn. But they also have the multiverse idea. And it's just like, well, you see how these things go with fascist ideas sometimes. In this movie, they do actually, in Deadpool, Deadpool Wolverine, they actually criticize the multiverse idea because it does have some good self-referential jokes. He says, we should have listened to the gays on this one because the Wizard of Oz did this idea first and did it best. Well, also that's a misrepresentation because the Wizard of Oz is not multiverse. The Wizard of Oz is fairyland protected within Earth, or it's part of Earth, or it's the fairyland part of Earth, or as I say, it's the future of Earth, because the barrier between that fairyland and the way we live is there's no money and no war in that fairyland. So I like to see it as the future. But it's not a multiverse, it's not a different world, so it's a mischaracterization of Oz to even say that. And it's a way to make a joke about being gay or something. There's a lot of jokes about being gay, or uh, it's just that Deadpool's not gay in like a proud way. It's like a shameful, we're making jokes about this kind of way, which again feeds into the Trump-Putineer trolls who are always homophobic and transphobic and other hallmarks of fascism, sexist and racist, and they excuse it or whatever. But in many cases, especially for homophobia and transphobia, it's because they have uh, repressed or um, demonized uh, ideas of their own that they've internalized the demonization of, and they take that out on other people because they hate themselves. Um, maybe that explains a lot of Deadpool. Again, I don't really know the character very well, but I think if there's anything good about having some fascist ideas um, in a movie so blatantly like this, maybe it'll be, at least we'll talk about them and talk about how they're fascist. Unfortunately, the way they're presented is kind of casually, like this is something people can believe, or it takes all kinds or both sides or whatever, and normalizing or casually accepting fascism as fascist and evil shouldn't be done. It's really interesting how they do have self-referential humor, makes jokes about Disney and stuff like this, but it's fun. You could tell the audience enjoyed it a lot, but I feel like it's really important when a movie that's going to be popular, going to be seen by a lot of people, has some really kind of obvious, blatant fascist ideas, flat Earth, um, anti-vax, climate change denier, uh, etc. Weird opinions about other people's sexuality or expressions of sexuality when nobody asked. Um, just those hallmarks of Trump-Putineer Nazi fascism. And maybe the good thing about having him in this movie is we can talk about him and expose them and expunge them from our society and from our culture and from future Deadpool, Wolverine, or otherwise movies. But anyway, thanks for making a fun movie. I hope y'all enjoy it. Hope this doesn't ruin anything for you. But look out and comment or let everybody know if you see any other signs of that type of stuff. Because if we talk about it, then we can stop it and point out how wrong it is and what the problems with it are. And it can improve the world to have these discussions. So thanks for opening up the can of worms. And y'all have fun at the movies. See you soon.